Hi, how are you? It's Leonore. Welcome to Soul Searching Tarot. Sorry, I'm not showing my face today, and I'm showing my hand like the Addams family. You know that hand with the Addams family. um, I wanted to share a message today, folks. But first, I want to thank my viewers and my subscribers. And I also want to thank, my new viewers that are either watching one or two videos, and hopefully it resonated with them, whether it's through tarot card reading or some type of birth chart, astrology, that has to do with a particular zodiac sign, or more than one. And then my little tantrums, my little awakening of the conscious, which I sometimes do. So I thank you for coming in and listening. I appreciate that. Believe me, when I do these videos, I do take a lot of time to research so that I could give you the right information, and then I do get some downloads. As a light worker, I get downloads, and I'll explain what a light worker is in this video, because I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Now, what happened? Why am I doing this video? Why all of a sudden Leonore wants to talk about this message? What is this message, Leonore? What is this awakening of consciousnesses now? What is it this time? I get downloads, and I just finished my Libra, my zodiac sign for Libra, as well as the tarot card reading. It is my last sign. I finally reached the end since I started this platform. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna continue doing signs and giving you information and insights in astrology, birth charts, and zodiac signs, as well as tarot card reading, which is what I do. But I will continue. I promise. It's even though I reached the end, it doesn't mean that I won't do it. I think my first one that I started was with, as far as zodiac sign, was Leo, and I may end up doing Leo next, just because I did that way back in Leo season, in July. All right. So I wanted to tell you that, as well as how did I end up getting this message, this download that I'm about to say by researching Libra. Well, I wasn't planning to do this video, and this happens to me a lot, folks, where I just have to get on camera and talk. Now I want to talk about Pluto in Libra back in the 70s, specifically 1971 to 1984. Pluto was in Libra. And what is Pluto? Well, Pluto, this planet, is all about transformation, right? Yeah. And Libra is diplomatic, harmonious. It is a house of relationships. It was a decade of peace and love. Remember the little sunflowers with the bell bottoms and the hippies? That was a decade of peace and love, as well as smoking joints and stuff like that, LSD. But what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean, Pluto and Libra? Well, it did represent obsession with fairness and justice as it relates to others and to your marriage or just marriages in particular. Because Libra does rule the house of marriage and relationships, whether they're platonic, even enemies. I'll try to leave the link on Libra, by the way, since I just told you that I just did Libra. I'll leave Libra part 1, and it's the insight and information of the zodiac sign, in case you wanted to go into depth. But you know, for Pluto to be in Libra, it did represent extreme measures, sometimes even explosions of anger at what people considered unfair, right? Because Libra has to do with justice as well. I do talk about the 2 tarot cards that represent justice in my Libra video. Now, what was going on in this decade? Serial killers. Serial killers, they took advantage of their prey and killed with such ease around this time. This is how it affected the collective. Do you understand? Now, get this, folks. My Pluto is in Libra, and what I'm about to say does not affect me. I am not that type of serial killer. I do have Pluto in Libra. Does it affect me? Yes, absolutely. It affects me as in my birth chart. The fact that I have Mars in Scorpio does not even help. They're both in about 8 degrees. No, I'm sorry. My Pluto in Libra is in 8 degrees. My Mars in Scorpio is in about 16 degrees. I did speak about Mars in Scorpio in birth charts part 4, because I wanted to give you an insight on how to read your birth chart and how it affects me. I did not talk about Pluto in Libra in part 4 of birth charts. I did go into Mars in Scorpio, but now I'm going to give you a little insight about Pluto in Libra. Now, these serial killers, you know, how ironic that some of these serial killers lived a normal life. They had a home, job, family. You know, in some cases, they were married. They had a wife at home. Some of them were middle class. Some of them were lower class. And the lower class, in some cases, were accomplices, you know. These horrific crimes that took place, I mean, we're talking about strangling, kidnapping, raping. These were the most heinous and gruesome crimes that I mean, it took the local police decades. Well, I mean, I want to say within a decade, if not more than a decade, to find their killer. I mean, the local police basically went into a spiral of understanding or misunderstanding the human psyche of the mind. This is Pluto in Libra back in the 1970s. Now, it exited in 1984. And I wanted to talk about this one show because, you know, I'm always talking about shows and actors and actresses. Me being a major in film and media, I love to connect planetary placements with actors and media and movies. That's just me. But it does give you a comparison, right? So one show that I loved watching on Netflix is called Mindhunter. Mindhunter, oh my God. You have to watch this show if you're into like the shit I'm into. Surprise, you know, planetary placements. Let's not forget my birth chart. And that Mindhunters is about how the FBI started a department to study and profile these killers, and the connection, their upbringing, the power that they held, you know. It's a very interesting show. I watched season 2 like in 3 days. Season 2 has been out for quite a while. I think it came out this summer, but oh my God, please watch Mindhunters if you're into that. The local police did not know what to do, and nobody believed this department. It took a while for this department to become what it is today, because serial killers, Pluto in Libra, you don't really see that. Pluto, first of all, is the last planet in our solar system. So when it rotates or orbit around the sun, it takes a whole generation. And we saw it in the 1970s, how Pluto in Libra reacts or affects the house. This planet affects the house this way. Right now, Pluto, by the way, if anybody's asking, is in Capricorn. I did a video on Scorpio, and I spoke about Pluto in Capricorn. So very interesting to watch. So right now, Pluto is in Capricorn. It will be exiting in about 2 to 3 years, but it's been in Capricorn, and it has affected. Well, I'm not going to go into it, but it has affected us as a collective. These planets, when they're in these houses, affect us as a collective. But watch my Scorpio video if you want to know how Pluto in Scorpio has affected us. Now, I have been researching, and like I said, I've been working on birth charts, and I've been explaining to you, teaching you in some way, in the best way that I can, because I'm not an astrologer. I do my best to research and give you just little baby steps, or, you know, Mickey Mouse basic version of astrology and birth charts, just so that you could understand. If you are more advanced than that, congratulations. But my goal is to let you know how powerful birth charts are. And I'm going to talk about myself again and how my birth chart affected me with these 2 planetary placements, Mars and Pluto. Mars is the planet of war, and Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. I have been embracing the ability as a light worker. Now, I did mention this earlier. Light workers are people that have some type of psychic ability or high intuition, and they help, you know, they use their abilities and their skills to help people how to heal themselves, whether it's through usually it's usually through they feel energy. In my case, I feel energy constantly. I hear things, and that's my intuition. I'll talk, you know, I have downloads, and my message for this video, you know, there is a message for this video, by the way, guys. I do have a message for you. I am going to awaken your conscious. You know, that is my job. I have my moon in Aquarius and my Uranus in Scorpio. So get ready for this. This is not for people who are all jolly and you know, think about Disney in their head and fantasy and shit like that. Like I get into the root of shit. I will tell you how it is, because my job is to tell you how it is. You may not like it. It may be rough to hear, but in the end, I either want you to hear the message and sit on it, dispose it if you want to, I don't care, or embrace it. So, anyway, let's go back to me. So yes, I am a light worker, folks, in case you haven't not known that by now. And I didn't know I had a higher purpose. I consider this right now, my platform right now, speaking to you folks, a higher purpose. You know, I don't want you to think, when I'm saying higher purpose, I don't want you to, God, please don't think that I'm, you know, some type of like goddess, even though I would love to consider myself one. But I'm here to give you messages given from me from ancestors and spirit guides. All right. And so that is my higher purpose, to heal. Again, that word healing has a lot to do with light workers. Now, my shadowy side, I do talk about my shadowy side, my malefic side, and my generous side, which we all have. We all have them in birth chart part 4. Again, it's just an insight of myself, and I literally just like basically just gave you like a third of who I am. But I'm going to talk a little bit more, just a little bit more. I'm going to throw you a little stone, a little pebble. So my Mars and my Pluto placement has affected my life. And I didn't know why for many, many, many years, you know. It took a while for me to mature and know who I am and why I'm here. And like I said, it's for a higher purpose. But I was not like this before, folks. And you know, it's a sad story when you think about it, and it's a sad and not just with me, with a lot of light workers. You know, they have to go through some type of suffering. Their suffering is their experience. You cannot be a light worker for the most part. You cannot be a light worker if you have not gone through some type of suffering or anguish. When I found out that the power of a birth chart holds secrets and lies, and it holds your elusive side of your personality, I said, what the fuck? You mean I could have known this about myself back when I was a teenager, when I was like, you know, in the mental, emotional anguish? Even younger than that. But even if I did know my birth chart and somebody sat me down and said, you know, you're the way you are because of this placement in your birth chart, and this is what's going to happen, and you're going to have to deal with it because life is going to teach you a lesson, because if it doesn't teach you a lesson, you can't help others. And so I went through this and I survived. God, thank goodness, I pray every day, and I thank the Lord that I had survived the shit that I went through, that I put myself in. Not, people didn't do anything to me. I sabotaged myself. I developed some type of, I don't know, clinical depression, according to the doctors. I suffered from clinical depression. I had some type of, you know, guilt and hopelessness. Uh, I don't know. I honestly, it's from the grace of God and my ancestors and spirit guides that I'm here today, because I did not want to take one step further in this life at all, and I could not fucking understand why. If you sat me down and said, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel so like sad and guilty and hopeless? I would have been like this: I don't know. These two placements in my birth chart is about my past life. I feel this way because I've probably killed in the past. I probably committed suicide. So I killed myself with my own hands. Like, not with my own hands literally, but, like nobody killed me but myself. Or I was some type of soldier or gladiator. I was either inflicted with some type of heinous crime done to me, and I was killed and murdered in a very gruesome way. And so I've lived these lifetimes, these cycles, and I'm if I had to predict, because I do past life regression, and I really hate to get into my past life regression, but sometimes I do, and thank God it's not. I haven't gotten to the bad part about it until today, to tell you the truth. When I got into Libra for some reason, when I started studying Libra, but even still, I didn't get into my past life regression. But now I kind of understood from studying Libra and knowing that I had Pluto in Libra, and what went on when Pluto was in Libra back in the 70s. I understood that my life was taken either through because of me, because a suicidal tendency, but most of all, the fact that I have Mars in Scorpio, I probably killed, either through just good graces, meaning like I fought for a country, so maybe a soldier, a gladiator, I probably was a slave, or I was killed through someone else's hands, and so it's not pretty. I know it's not pretty, and so I come back into this life not knowing why every day or every other day I wake up with some guilt, with some type of wanting to inflict or punish myself, and now I know why. It's crazy, but I still feel the guilt. Can you believe that all these life cycles? And I'm gonna count about 20. I'm not gonna lie. I have a Pisces ascending, and because I have a Pisces ascending and my Neptune is in Sagittarius, I almost feel like I probably won't come back for the next lifetime. But the fact that I know that about myself, I'm pretty sure that if I do come back, it would probably be as a guru. Or maybe I didn't finish what I needed to finish, and to teach as a light worker, to heal as a light worker. But I've been through cycles of many energy shifts and lifetimes and timelines, and God, I can't even tell you when my first life was. But I brought that energy into my life right now, that this very moment, or And guys, I don't want you to think that I still suffer from some type of mental disability as far as emotional or some type of issue. I don't know. I do have a Pisces ascending, so I may indulge. And it doesn't help that I have a sun in Scorpio either, but that has nothing to do with anything. I have other placements in my chart that has literally has made my life so easy, and gifted and lucky. Oh God, am I lucky? I think whether it's good or bad, I thank the Lord every day that I'm here and that I woke up to see another day, because that's not how I felt in my younger years. And birth charts is all about maturity. It is all about maturity. And a lot of my placements are past Libra. I have lots of placement in Scorpio. I have at least 2 or 3 Pisces placements. I have an Aquarius moon. That all represents getting closer to the divine. Yeah, it's like that. Now, you may be asking yourself, like, holy shit, does this really exist? Who cares? My message to you is really this. Okay, this is a download that I got. Okay, and I'll leave the links because I have spoken about bloodlines, and I've spoken to my high vibrational men about this. I also talk about this in my birth chart, as far as children. I know that I went through what I went through to help the children of today. And I hope that I'm helping some adults out there as well. But like I said, you could take my message, my downloads, you could dispose it, or you could just let it sink in. Now, I want you to volunteer yourself while Saturn, the planet of karma and time, is indirect, like direct, fully direct. It's in its home sign, Capricorn, by the way. I want you to take this time, which is a once in a lifetime, and when I mean once in a lifetime, it's like every generation, basically. The fact that it's in its home planet, it is motherfucking watching you. Yeah, and then I'm saying that mildly, by the way. I know I just cursed, but that's like a mild way to put it. I want you to take this time and teach our children, whether they're yours, whether they're others, nieces, nephews, whether you work with little ones, the rebellious ones, the teenagers, even the younger ones. The younger ones are just as rebellious, right? The little brothers and sisters. They came from a past life where they suffered, and they were angry, and they were sad, and they had some type of mental displacement, and some of them have some form of genius. I want you to teach them a lesson. Do the right thing, folks. Teach them. Show them love. I know sometimes it's hard. God, I know that it's hard sometimes. Especially they are challenging. Some of them are very challenging, right? But like I said, they do come from all these emotions. Just like I don't know why I came to this life with my emotions. These kids came into this lifetime with these emotions for a reason. Birth charts, past lifetime. It's all there. It says it all there. It is powerful. Now, these lessons of doing the right thing according to whatever strength you have. I don't know what strength you have. You could teach them a craft for all I know, and that's doing the right thing. You know? But some type of positive, whether it's mentally or emotionally or both, some type of skill that can help them in the future. Oh, just, being stern with them, but open, being direct, but, giving them some type of objective in life, and telling them that that you need an objective in life. That is all Saturn, by the way. Be loving, but tell them the truth. You will be surprised how they can sense betrayal, these little children. They could smell it a mile away, that fear, that betrayal. And why? It's pretty much just what I just told you about myself. They came into this lifetime the same way. Now, I'm telling you this because these children are going to have children. And they're going to raise children to have children. And I say this like I said, I say this in a couple of videos, maybe even more. My high vibrational men, I say this in bloodlines. Oh my God, I say this in bloodlines. I don't know if I have 1 or 2 videos about it, but I always talk about, teaching our children the right way, because their children are going to be the nonconformist, and their children's children will somehow break the system we live in now. Now here comes the plot. You thought that was the plot? What? You mean to tell me there's still more of a plot? Yes, there is. This is the age of Aquarius, folks. If you don't know what the age of Aquarius is, I'm going to try to remember to leave the link on Aquarius Part 1, where I talk about the zodiac sign and the insight and the planet. That, in a nutshell, will tell you what the fuck that means. Nonconformist, breaking down the system. And if you don't believe what I'm saying and you're like taking this message as a fluke or whatever, I don't care. Maybe my people that are, the people that do read the Bible, because I sometimes do go into the Bible, folks. I read the Bible. I actually went to Catholic school. I was raised as a Catholic. And even though I have a moon in Aquarius and I like to dabble and learn about other religions as well, because that's just Aquarius. Aquarius needs to know a little bit about everything. They need to get to the nitty-gritty things. They're like scientists in the lab, basically. It may be far-fetched for you, what I just said. I understand. Got it. Okay, far-fetched. Just read the book of Isaiah, and this will confirm what I just said. Chapters 1 through 39. Particularly if you're not trying to read 1 through 39, that's fine. But I found that chapters 28 and 29 in the book of Isaiah pretty much describes what I just said, especially in the very end, by the way, of this conscious video, this awakening of the conscious that I love to put myself in and have some type of tantrum about it. But again, these are downloads. When I have tantrums, they're really downloads that I get. And so I feel the energy very strongly. All right, folks. I hope that this helps someone, because that's really, in the end, my mission, even if it's that one person. All right, love you, and definitely watch my Libra video. All right.